What is a helium beer? All helium beer facts in one place. To get to know about all the different beer out there is quite a challenge, especially when some beers are not even real. But what is it with this helium beer, and why it has become such a huge topic? One thing's for certain, you'll need to be critical about this. Let's jump into the video and see what this is about. What's the story behind helium beer? It all started off with Stone's release of the Stochasticity Project, ale with helium, and they actually made a pretty big deal out of it, at least big enough to start a worldwide demand for helium beer. Along with the fake release of the helium beer, they made a pretty convincing video where they go into depth about the science behind the beer. In the video, their voices are retouched, so it sounds like they actually just inhaled helium. Another video was also released by two German beer enthusiasts entitled Helium Beer Test. This video has gone even more viral than the original Stones and Samuel Adams did. Can you buy helium beer? The answer is no, you can't buy helium beer. The whole thing about helium beer is a myth, so it will never be possible to buy helium beer with a voice-pitching effect. However, this could be really cool. As we know now, the Stone Brewing Company pretended to have invented the helium beer, but it was all made up as an April Fool's joke. 4 reasons why helium beer is not possible. 1. Helium is not soluble in beer. It's not even soluble in water. You can't carbonate beer with helium as you can with carbon dioxide. 2. It would be impossible to add liquid helium to the beer, as helium turns from liquid to gas at 220 degrees Fahrenheit, 140 degrees Celsius. By doing this, you would end up freezing the beer. 3. Even if it actually was possible to add helium to a beer, it would cause gushing because helium is not soluble in beer. 4. Even if it were possible, it would still not have a voice-changing effect. The beer goes down to the stomach, not into the lungs as gas helium would do. However, some scientists do claim to have made a helium beer. And now you ask how? Wasn't that impossible? And yes, it is impossible to make a helium beer with the effect that we would all want for such a beer. I mean, even if it doesn't have a funny effect, why even drink it? Bottom line, this whole helium beer prank is pretty genius. I think it is pretty impressive to go viral on a prank like this. And even almost 6 years later, people are still questioning whether helium beer is a truth or a myth. The fact that it's not true is disappointing. Try to imagine if it was actually possible to make a helium beer. Amazing, huh? Because let's face it, who wouldn't like to try a helium beer? Subscribe to Homebrew Advice on YouTube for more informational videos in the future.